Hello everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin and today we are going to be diving in to see what you have coming in energy, insights, and guidance for the next 2 weeks for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so welcome back my beautiful kindred spirits to this channel and anyone who is new and joining us for this Monday reading. I hope you guys are ready and settled as we are going to be looking into these next 2 weeks for you and see what's coming in for you for your own self-exploration, your own spiritual knowledge, just to see what's going on. Whatever reason you are here, I hope you guys are cozy and ready to go. But before we start diving into what we have here on each of your guys' piles, I wanted to first thank everyone who has recently subscribed, because all of a sudden within these last couple of weeks, this channel has been not necessarily blowing up, but there's definitely been a lot of love that has come from those who have just started to find me here and this little corner of the internet. So thank you everyone who has been subscribing, as we've just hit 700 subscribers. And when I say subscribers, I really mean new kindred spirits. So it's wonderful to have you guys joining this community and really seeing the beauty of this space. Definitely let me know a little bit about you if you're new. I love to hear more about you guys and just really connect. You can also connect more with me on my Instagram, which I'll have linked down below as well. I'm on there every single day and I connect with so many of you guys on a personal level there, and we have wonderful conversations and we talk about magic, spirituality, tarot, all sorts of things. So definitely check that out down below and subscribe if you haven't already. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the piles here. So for each of the piles, I chose a different rune. So this may resonate for you if you already know runes. Definitely look maybe more towards the different crystals we have here. But for pile number 1, we have this little piece of emerald. I know I use this one a lot, but I absolutely love this little piece of emerald. And then we also have the rune that kind of looks like an M. It also represents a horse, and it is Ehwaz. So that is pile number 1. For pile number 2 here, we have the crystal of Pyrite in its raw form. It's very sparkly and gold. It's also called fool's gold. And then we also have here Inguz, which also can represent man or seed. So that is pile number 2. And then lastly here for pile number 3, we have this clear quartz point. It's got all these little ridges to it and has sort of frosty sides as well. And then we also have the rune of Isa, which can also represent ice. So that is pile number 3. But before you start going off to your piles and seeing which one really resonates for you, let's go ahead and take a deep cleansing breath together so you can really connect with your intuition and your guides and see what comes in for you. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. So as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your pile. You can choose 1 pile, 2 piles, all 3 piles, and see what really connects with you. You can also choose a pile, flip-flop, change your mind. There really are no rules to this. You can find your timestamp down below for the pile or piles that you would like to look into, and they're also within the chapter marks too. But if you would like to support this channel even further and look at the other offerings that I provide beyond this YouTube channel, I provide snail mail readings, which are personal, private readings that you can receive yourself. There's lots of wonderful reviews on my Instagram and more information there, but just a brief summary. Basically, I send a letter to you that is very heartfelt, very warm, very true and honest to you on whatever it is that you're seeking guidance and insights on for love, career, spirituality, for your own self-growth and empowerment. All those different types of things we can dive into with these, but basically I send that letter to you in the mail that you can receive and treasure in person. It's written on a vintage typewriter from the 1970s, so it has that fun vintagey feel, but also it's easy to read. I also have only one, as of when I am recording this, only one more Samhain spell paper set that you can receive if that's something that you're interested in. But if you are interested and that set is already gone, definitely check my Instagram to see the availability. But if you really wanted that handmade spell paper, definitely let me know if there is interest, and if there's enough interest, I will definitely be making another batch. So definitely let me know down below. But with all of that said, I do truly thank everyone who has been supporting me through the other offerings that I provide, and I just wanted to say thank you. But we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this piece of emerald as well as this rune of Ehwaz, then this is the pile for you. Feel free to go ahead and start getting yourself settled, as we are going to be diving into the next 2 weeks for you. As always, whenever I use these runes, I like to show you guys what that rune is all about, just in case it comes up in your reading, or it's just something that you needed as a message for yourself. And so you can read through this, pause if you need to, but it does say it represents a horse, so it represents travel, movement, physical changes, as well as teamwork, trust, loyalty, partnership, and friendship. So that's a little bit of runic knowledge for you guys today, and we'll see if it really correlates with your reading or not. But we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using 2 different oracle decks, which I'll have listed in the description below, as well as the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, which this beautiful orange just keeps giving me that fall vibe. So I've definitely been pulling this one out a lot more. So let's go ahead and start diving in. So feel free to send your energy in and through, and we're going to just play around, see what comes in for you for the next 2 weeks. So group 1, what do you have coming in? So, okay, first off, we have the Death card. A lot of people, especially if you're new to tarot, freak out when you see the Death card. It doesn't actually mean death. It has a lot more to do with the ideas of sunsets and sunrises, right? So the sun keeps rising even though something is setting. So this is about a new beginning, but something that has to begin with an ending. So what is ending within these next 2 weeks? Let's go ahead and start looking deeper into this. So group 1, what do we have coming in here for group 1? For energy, insights, or guidance within the next 2 weeks. Group 1, feel free to send your energy in. Okay, let's see. So we also have the universe or the world card. This also represents endings. So you definitely have something wrapping up, but it is telling me that seeing as you had the world card, this is usually a positive ending, or an ending that you were more aware was happening. So there is something that's wrapping up within the next 2 weeks, or maybe several things. So we're going to see where that keeps diving in here, but definitely some endings, definitely some time for new beginnings. Also, I'm hearing like that you could dream a new dream. Like if you guys have ever seen Tangled, she's all about wanting to go and see the lights, right, in the Tangled movie. But in this case, I feel like you guys are, you've seen that dream, you've finished, you've wrapped up a dream, and now you get to dream a new dream. And sometimes that's a little scary, having to figure out what that new dream is, or that new exciting passion is for you. All right, so we also have the King of Pentacles here, as well as the 8 of Pentacles. So I'm going to go ahead and set this all down. So we have here the King of Pentacles. So this could be something that you're finishing up, right? You're finally getting all of the wealth from it. You're getting all of the prosperity, the abundance. And then you also have the 8 of Pentacles. So definitely a lot of hard work heading towards this end, but I feel like it's going to be worth it, because the world card really does, or the universe card really does showcase that more positive ending. So let's go ahead and see what else you have coming in here with the Prairie Majesty Oracle. I love this oracle so much, so you're definitely going to be seeing it more and more on my channel. But let's go ahead and see what you have coming in for the next 2 weeks. Group 1. Okay. So you have the wind. That's really interesting. So we have blow here, and it says, how can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? That's a really interesting one that you guys are getting, especially just with like how much we have like practicality in your cards. And then this is part of the feeling suit. So there's something about reconnecting with your intuition versus your logical mind. So let's go ahead and dive even deeper. Group 1. What do you have coming in here for the next 2 weeks, group 1? Okay, so we also have assertiveness, rise up, stand stronger and true. So this is about your inner truths, voicing your inner truth, voicing how you truly feel about a situation, being honest, putting your foot down. Yeah, so there's definitely another side of this. Almost feeling like you're not sure if you should rock the boat. But we're going to see your last message here with the watercolor affirmations, but do stay tuned later because we are going to do your charm cast. But here we are, group 1. Group 1. What do you have coming in here, group 1, for an affirmation? Okay, so we have what if. All right, so this definitely reminds me of that dreaming. Like, what if you could dream a new dream? What if you could move on to a new way of living, a new way of seeing the world? What if in a positive light? And playing around with those types of affirmations. When you find yourself within these next 2 weeks doubting your abilities or doubting where you're heading, definitely try to see what if on the positive side. I mean, you can play with the pros and cons list, but definitely see what positives are coming out of your own intuitive ideas on where you should be heading, because I think that's going to be super powerful for you. But let's go ahead and start diving in here, group 1. So if we head back to your original rune that you chose for your pile, it was all about traveling. It was about we even had this horse show up, right? And it's the horse. It's movement, it's change, it's positive change as well, and physical changes too. And we have a lot of physicality in your group. So there could be new physical changes coming in. Maybe you are on some sort of physical transformation with your body or with the way that you view your body, the intuitive sense of it. And I think you could be partially pushing yourself slightly too hard, or just that you feel like you finally hit that goal and now it's time to make either new goals or realize just how far you've come and appreciating how far you have come, and that it's actually made you stand stronger, truer, and that you've actually strengthened yourself. I feel like there's a lot of like strengthening your muscles, strengthening your actual physical body. But beyond just the physical side of everything, on a more spiritual side, there is this intuitive element that we have coming in with the blow card, and this is the wind. So it did say here, how can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? So this is about instead of trying to force the wind to stop, right? Like with a building or with, putting up a brick wall or something like that, the wind is always going to find a way to get through the cracks. That energy is going to find a way to move through whatever you put up against it. So there is this energy right now, and I think you know it, of an ending, of something that is ready to end, something that you're ready to finish, something you're ready to wrap up and put aside, or to just appreciate how far it got, or how much you got out of it, because there is a lot of abundance, there is a lot of inner wisdom and knowledge that you've really gained, because you have the King of Pentacles here, and he is very knowledgeable, he is very practical, he has a sense of like authority, but he uses it in a very practical way, but very unlike the wind. So like I said, there is this I feel like you're like, I've got my goals done, I finished this, I did this, I got it done, and now what's next? What's next? And you're trying to be assertive and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And things in your life, I feel like in these next 2 weeks aren't going to be that easy. I think you're going to make a whole schedule out, and within those 2 weeks, a lot of random winds will blow right at you, either to continue to show you the path that you should be leading yourself on, or your own personal intuition is going to be like, okay, I know that we should maybe be working on this, but maybe this is actually something that we should put aside for now and work on something else. There's just a lot of rearranging, reprocessing, rethinking, because I think that it's not going to be as black and white as you think it is right now. And I know maybe that doesn't make sense, and I feel like it's going to make sense as these 2 weeks go on, that you're going to have to really use your intuition versus your practical side, because I think that things are just going to that boat is going to get rocked, the wind is going to blow through it, and you're going to have that cold gust of wind kind of reawakening your intuition within these next 2 weeks. And I think that can be a really wonderful thing, because you are working really hard right now. We have a lot of focus with the Eight of Pentacles, so you are working really hard. You're putting in a lot of effort, but I do think that that effort can kind of slow down, or that it's going to at least benefit you to slow down, because if you think of that wall that I was talking about earlier, right? You're trying to build this all up. That wind is just about to knock all of this down, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I just think that it's going to be a little bit like an icy cold wind. You weren't expecting it. You had to reshift and refocus, but you're not necessarily it's not going to make such a big impact that you won't be able to just rethink the situation. And that's where that what if comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and start diving into your charms, because I really want to see more information, especially on what is ending, and maybe some of this assertiveness, and see where that's coming in. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into your charms. So group one. Ooh, that one made a really loud sound. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looking. I'm going to go ahead and let you see it a little bit closer while I navigate these charms for you. Okay, so we have two of these that fell upside down. I'm going to go ahead and take them off the board. And then I'm also going to take this one out because it was also upside down. So it's interesting that you have the cheetah and the giraffe. These are both very animal type messages. We have the letters D and B showing up here, so either BD, DB, but there is something along those lines. There is a lot of fast energy. Like I said, I feel like you had a plan in mind of what these next 2 weeks are going to be, and those plans are going to change. There's a lot of transformation. There's a lot of feeling slightly, possibly overwhelmed or overburdened with the amount of work that you have, and I almost feel like the wind is coming in. It's going to change things, but I think it's actually going to change things for the better than what you planned. And it's not something you're going to know how greatly it impacted you until the 2 weeks are finished. Unfortunately, I can't really explain exactly why, but it is there because I do think that that's going to be something that's going to be helpful, because we have the hummingbird as well as the cheetah charm, both showing really fast, quick-paced energy. We also have looking from a greater perspective, because we have the giraffe charm here. And the giraffe, they are very tall and they can see so much more than us little human eyes can see. So they see so much more from a higher perspective. So this is about either talking with your guides from a higher realm or a higher plane, or also just in general, just seeing the whole picture. So like I said, I feel like you guys are planners, or that at least you're trying to be more practical, and you're going to try to look at the whole picture on your calendar. But I feel like it's time to rethink whatever you've already put there, okay? So I just think that that's all I can fully say, because that wind hasn't blown yet, but it is on its way. We also have the Ace of Cups. I wanted to say Pentacles. The Ace of Cups here, and this is about a lot of emotion as well that's going to be kind of popping in. So like I said, that intuition is going to be kicking back in, which also has a large connection with the water element and our emotions. And there's something about maybe a past event that didn't go so well, because we have the inky heart, the toxic heart showing up here, of maybe those are the winds that are blowing in. So there could be a bit of grief, something that's going to just make you feel like a lot of waves of emotion. Or also just in general, because something has ended. That could be something small, a project, a dream, a job, whatever it is. There's just something that's ending, and I think that it's actually going to benefit you in the end, but it's definitely something that is going to take time to adjust to, and a bit of persistence and that assertiveness, because we do have here the little chipped charm. I always think of this as persistence, being persistent. Even though things are chipping out, even though things maybe seem a little bit more difficult than you were expecting, it's to continue to be assertive on your path, keep rising back up, to keep moving forward, because I think that that is going to be a really big part of what continues to move you forward. And let the wind flow through you, let your emotions flow through you, rather than trying to put up a wall against them. That's also something I'm hearing, because I think it's really easy to to stuff those emotions down or put up a wall. And I think that for you, you really need to feel those emotions, really need to understand them, and give your emotions motion, give them the respect they deserve to move through you versus be, contained or held in. There's also the creative element showing up here with transformation. So again, I feel like you guys are dreaming a new dream. There's a new dream coming in, or a new passion or something that excites you, that just really gets you going, and it's starting to transform, and you're starting to form what that actually is and how you can use it versus it just being kind of like stagnant. This whole entire week, these next 2 weeks, are all about movement for you, all about change, all about allowing a new beginning to come in out of the endings that you had, and see where that gets you, and also letting that wind flow through you. So you definitely had more of a oracle type of reading here. I feel like it was mostly just about like your scheduling and about allowing things to come in versus trying to hold them off. And I hope that resonated with you. I definitely think that it's one of those ones you're going to feel it as the weeks go on. So if it doesn't really make sense right now, just kind of take it in and see where that goes. But I hope you guys found this reading helpful and insightful. Let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you, and also give this video a like if you really did like it. I really truly appreciate it so much. And also, if you would like to get support even further with the different readings that I do, feel free to check out the snail mail readings that I have in the description below. They are typed on a vintage typewriter from the I was going to say the 1700s, but the 1970s. And it is a reading that is sent to you through snail mail, and you are able to physically hold it, treasure it, and fully understand the different messages that are coming in for you, for career, for love, for spirituality, for your own empowerment and growth and transformation. There's so much we can dive into, so definitely check those out down below. And then also I have a few more sets. I think only one more set at the time that I'm recording, so definitely check out those down below. But I have a Samhain spell paper set that you can check out as well. So there's a lot to check out to support yourself as well as support me as a small business and little witchy creator. And yeah, I do believe that's everything I wanted to say. Feel free to subscribe if you would like to, and I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, if you've decided to choose this piece of raw pyrite as well as the rune of Ing, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set these down right here for you so you can see them during your reading here today, as we're going to be diving into your next 2 weeks. So feel free to get settled and get a cozy blanket, feel really comfortable and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead, as always, whenever I use these runes, I like to show you a little bit more about the rune themselves. So here we have the man, or the seed in this case, because it is the form of masculinity, but it also just talks about the potential for a new seed, for new growth. So it says here, potential, endings versus beginnings, successful conclusion, positive accomplishments, past and future influences, the masculine side, as well as fertility. So that is the rune that you chose. We're going to go ahead and see if it really aligns with your reading or not, as it may just be a message to just think about in general. But we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using 2 different oracle decks, which I'll have listed down below in the description. And we're also going to be using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. So if you guys are settled and ready, feel free to send your energy in through time and space. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So group 2. Ooh, you guys are already flying right out of the gate. So here we are, group 2 with the moon. A lot of kind of unknown energy happening here with the moon. We're going to see where that kind of is coming in, a mystery kind of element, surprises even. So we're going to see what else there is coming in with the moon. Group 2. What do you have coming in here, group 2, for the next 2 weeks? Group 2. I'm also seeing almost like you're hiding your emotions as well. So we also have the the 9 of Torches. I literally was talking about hiding, and the 9 of Torches is like creating your own little hidden space in the world and putting your guard up. So there definitely is a guarding of your emotions, kind of holding them back, making them be a mystery to other people. Maybe people aren't really sure how to respond in a conversation with you because you're still trying to figure things out yourself. But we also have here for your last card, Judgment. This is all about awakenings and evolution, moving to the next step, moving higher up that tree, higher up your own personal spiritual growth, your soul growth. So here we are with Judgment, the Moon, and the 9 of Torches. So there's almost like a resistance to almost level up, to move to the next level for yourself, to keep awakening yourself higher. I feel like you're getting a lot of messages to do it, and you're almost like hiding them away from yourself. And there's definitely, because we have 2 major arcana cards, there's definitely a message of like really big things happening within like your inner world within the next 2 weeks. But we're going to see how that really aligns for you as we go into your Prairie Majesty Oracle message. And I absolutely love this deck, so you're definitely going to be seeing it more on the channel. But let's go ahead and see what's coming in for you, Group 2, in the next 2 weeks for Group 2 here. Oh, I'm feeling this one. So we have Dabble. What would help me feel safe in opening up? Definitely what we were already feeling here. It's the mallard duck. There's definitely a message of opening yourself up, right? Which we were already talking about here with that 9 of Torches. So let's see what more information we can pull out from the cards here for you guys today, and then we'll go deeper. But Group 2, what do you have coming in for the next 2 weeks? Enthusiasm, the best can be here, believe it, with the orange blossom. So yeah, the best can be here if you believe it. There is more to see. There's more to this picture, is what I'm also getting. So we're going to go ahead and pull your final card here with the watercolor affirmations. Definitely check out the video I have on these if you want to make your own using a bit of art magic. And then we're also going to dive into your charms later on in the reading. But let's go ahead and look right on into these, and then we'll dive even deeper. So Group 2 here. What do you have coming in within the next 2 weeks, Group 2? Oof. Okay, so we have quite a few, but I'm going to go ahead and take the one that came up right here with Ground Yourself in Love. Grounding yourself in love here. Hopefully, there we go. It'll focus. But here you are with Ground Yourself in Love. There is do you see the main color we have going on here? There is a lot of pink, a lot of cooler tones as well, pink, purple, and then these enlightening colors, right? So there's what you're guarding yourself from is all of this enlightenment, the trumpet calling to you. I just realized we had another one here. So we also have Let Go of Hate. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up, seeing as I didn't pick it up before, so that may actually resonate for some of you. But we have Let Go of Hate. Let go of hate for yourself, let go of hate for other people, other groups, people that you don't understand. And especially with that Dabble card, it goes even deeper into that. So let's go ahead and start diving in here for you, Group 2 here. So like I said, there is something here that's happening about you guarding yourself from being able to, and it's even interesting too that you chose Pyrite with that same color, but you have like this beautiful sunset, this beautiful thing on the horizon, this new seed, this potential, and you're kind of like guarding yourself up from it. You're putting that aside. You're saying, no, I don't need that. I don't want that. I don't understand that. That's new. That's completely out of my comfort zone. I have no idea how to swim in that kind of environment, that kind of new space. But there's something about opening yourself up to newer communities, opening yourself up to new ways of living. And I feel like you're going to be changing, or at least starting to rethink a core belief that you have within these next 2 weeks. Your values, your core beliefs, the way you always thought about the world. Like I said, you have 2 major arcana cards, so that can be very impactful. You have a very impactful week. This week isn't about, work life or the small things. This is like a bigger picture thing that's happening for you and starting to kind of come in. And So like I said, there's something that you're guarding yourself from, and you're even guarding your emotions from being able to see it, right? You've got these dogs running through the water. We don't know how your emotions are really feeling. You put on a face about how they are. Maybe you put on this nicety. I'm almost hearing like, that southern nice kind of feeling, like you're like, oh, well, I have to be nice even though I don't really like these people, with that let go of hate, or I don't really understand them, or there's something about, I feel like you're currently, and this card talks about echo chambers, and I don't know if you really know what those are, but basically, like, especially on social media with algorithms and things like that, there can be echo chambers, which just basically means you have a ton of people who have the same core beliefs, the same values, just echoing the same ideas back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And the moment you get a new idea that comes in, a new person with different core beliefs, different ideas, it's really hard for you to truly take those seriously, or at least come to common ground to have a really constructive conversation about them, because it's so much easier to have everyone on your side and that one person come in and be like that, that like different piece of the puzzle that just doesn't really fit. And I feel like you want to safeguard this space that you've always been in, this echo chamber. Okay, this is how life is. This is how life works. This is how religion is. This is how my core beliefs are. This is how I was raised. This is how I was growing up. This is the niceness that I put on for other people when they don't correlate with the same beliefs that I have. There's just something about you needing to shift those and start to really understand like where that's starting to shift, where you're starting to lose some of that footing, because it doesn't align with you anymore, yet you're still holding on to it. But you're being kind of told to start dabbling, to start putting your face under the water and really see the world from a bigger point of view, with more people, with more diversity and ideas that are different from your own, and how you get to sit within them. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to believe what other people believe, or you have to understand them fully, but there is this idea to have constructive conversations with people that you maybe don't normally, and see where those come in. They don't have to be huge, big things, like I said, with religion and everything, but it can be something on a smaller level, smaller core beliefs, smaller things about even your hobbies or the way you kind of move through the world. But it's about you dabbling, trying something new, putting your face under the water, filtering in what aligns with you and leaving what now no longer does. It's kind of a way to like put your head underwater and see where things come into focus now that you have. Because we even have the water here with the moon, right? Put your face under the water and really see and feel how other people feel about their core beliefs, and take in what now aligns with you. You don't have to be scared of it. It's okay. We definitely move through the world differently. We all have different ideas and values and ways that we move through the world. But you're being called to now start to see the potential. Like, right, we had the see the potential in a new space, a new echo chamber, kind of merge those different ideas together so you can have a bigger picture of the world than your smaller one that you have right now. So hopefully that aligns with you. We're going to go ahead and move on to your charms and see what else is coming in for you within these next 2 weeks. Definitely love that you got that dabble card. It's one that is definitely aligned with all the cards that you've been getting, especially with that let go of hate as well. And grounding yourself in love, right? So moving away from hate and moving back into a space of love. It doesn't mean you have to love everything that everyone says, but having those constructive conversations and being able to agree to disagree and actually hear other people out is going to be a great way to get back onto common ground with other people. So let's go ahead and look into your charms to see what else is coming in, maybe on the lower half of your week in terms of things that aren't so like higher and bigger in terms of those core beliefs. Let's see what just in general is coming in for you. Group 2. Just had one fully roll off the table, so give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and sort these out, and then we'll zoom on in so you can see. We have the bells chiming as well. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in, and we're going to see what is coming in here for the next 2 weeks for you. So we have this idea of original ideas, like as if this was always an original idea that you've always had, or just in general, some new ideas are going to be starting to come in for you. New insights, new dreams, new ideas, new potential for little seeds that you want to start growing in your life on a smaller level as well. So there's something about coming up with new ideas, new original ideas that you hadn't before, and that may even come from these new perspectives that you're gaining. We also have the two brothers charm. So this can represent brothers or siblings, but it also represents a twisting and mixing and mingling kind of sensation that we're having here, right? Like it's an illusion, which we always see with the moon, this idea of illusion, not being able to see what's in that water, not being able to see our full emotions. And this almost looks like a wave as well, right? So we're starting to mix your emotions with others, trying to see where those two can align, finding common middle ground. That's definitely a common theme, especially since we also have with that judgment card. I always think of these as being kind of like that judgment. Someone's chiming along those here, wait, I'll actually show you the card so it makes more sense. So basically with the judgment card, we have that evolution, right? That you're starting to move up or level up in life, or you're almost starting to move to a new evolution for yourself. You know, you're evolving like a Pokemon. But here we have the trumpet, which usually we have, which is interesting too. We have this angel with a trumpet, and we have the angel card. So definitely listen to guides and everyone in between in that case on a spiritual level, because this is sort of like the judgment card in that it's like bells are ringing, right? The bells are ringing, ring-a-ling-ling. So where are the bells ringing? Where are you starting to hear, spirit in a way, hear your own inner knowing and start to see where those take you? Because there is something about gaining spiritual knowledge within these next 2 weeks as well, or gaining a new insights and original ideas that you hadn't ever really thought of before that are starting to mingle with your previous ones. And like I said, there could be illusions or people that you're trying to come on common ground with your siblings at this time or family members. And I think that it's going to move you towards good, positive, forward movement for yourself, because we do have the little castle charm here, or the rook, and this in chess is all about forward movement, moving straight forward. There's nothing in your path. And so how can you make this process a smoother process that you can move forward a lot easier, a lot more simply, versus having to kind of like rerouting, and all this illusion? It doesn't have to you don't have to have your guard up that whole time. And I think that it's actually going to be a smoother transition if you don't have all these blockages on the road, right? If this was a road and you were trying to move forward with these ideas, with this spiritual movement, with your Pokemon moment, it's going to be a lot easier if you stop putting rocks in the road and putting, having power lines over the road and having trees that have fallen, making the road gravel, whatever it is, you're definitely putting in resistance to that change, to that evolution, to that bigger step for yourself. And so I think it's really important to maybe journal on that this week. These next 2 weeks, really take time to see, where in your life are you feeling this calling, right? You're feeling called towards something, towards this new movement, towards these new perspectives and these conversations that you're having with others that you've kind of made an allusion to. And how can you start to shift that where you can actually listen and hear what that has to say? It doesn't mean you have to take it all in. It doesn't mean it all has to go to heart, to your full soul. But there is this at least shift in perspective that's starting to change. Again, with the original ideas as well, we do have the finance charm. So this is about feeling like it's something maybe even tied to or chained to your finances, to your abundance, to your harvest, that kind of vibes. There is something there as well on a more mundane level that it may be at least corresponding to your work life or to your work ethic and to the commitments that you have. Again, there's also the commitment charm. I just realized that too. So you have the commitment charm with the ring. So again, you're very committed to these core beliefs, and it's not saying that you have to change these commitments, but it doesn't mean you can't hear other people out or hear yourself out and see where that's taking you. So definitely some big change ups within your beliefs and your values within these next 2 weeks. Definitely let me know if you know what this is about in the comments down below. I would love to hear your guys' insights and thoughts, because this is definitely a very interesting one. I think it's important, like I said, ground yourself in love within these next 2 weeks and see other people from a voice of love, not just nicety, not just kindness, but from true true love in that you actually hear people out. And allow yourself to dabble, allow yourself to play, allow yourself to see where that calling takes you, and filter out what doesn't work. So yeah, have your Pokemon moment. I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Do let me know in the comments down below how this resonated, and give this video a like if you really did like it. It really helps this channel out so much, and I appreciate it so much, so thank you. And also, if you would like to support me further on my witchy endeavors and these fun readings that I do, then feel free to get a reading yourself to support yourself in your career, in money, in finances, but also in spirituality, your evolution, empowerment, and also love and relationships. So there's a lot we can dive into with a personal private reading, with the snail mail readings that I do, where I send a letter in the mail that's hand typed using my vintage typewriter, so it's easy to read, from the 1970s. And then I also have the option to send some magical spell paper and ritual paper, as well as a personalized custom sigil for you to aid in whatever comes up in your reading. So if that's something you're interested in, a little bit of magic, a little bit of treasured moments and fun paper, then feel free to check that out down below. And then also I have Samhain spell paper as well. And if there's enough interest, let me know in the comments down below if you're interested at all. If there's enough interest, I'll make another batch as well, since I only have one set left. So definitely check those out if you'd like to support this channel further and support yourself alongside it. And feel free to subscribe if you aren't already, and join in on this kindred spirit community. And I will see you guys in the next one. Wishing the best in this Pokemon moment, in this evolution in your life. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose this piece of crystal quartz as well as the rune of Isa, then this is the pile for you. Feel free to get settled, grab some tea, some water, a cozy blanket, or get yourself in a space where you feel really calm, relaxed, or ready to take in some messages for the next 2 weeks for you. We are going to go ahead and check out the rune that you had, because I do think that sometimes that rune comes up specifically for some of you. So here is the rune of Isa. So here it is, it's one line, and it showcases feeling possibly stuck, resistance, habits, a cooling trend, hibernation, reflection, and stillness. Right? So it's kind of like a wall, or it's a, icicle. You can definitely see how that resonates for you with the ice trend, but there you are with Isa. We're going to see if it really comes in with the rest of your reading, or if it's just specifically a message that maybe you needed to hear. But we're going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the 2 different oracle decks I have here, which I have listed down in the description. And then we're also going to be using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. So if you guys are ready, you are settled and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and get started. So feel free to send your energy in through time and space here now, and we'll go ahead and play around. Had something in my throat, but group 3 here, group 3. What do you have coming in here, group 3, for the next 2 weeks? Any energy, insights, or guidance coming in? Those cooling trends, that ice energy. So first off here, we have the 5 of Swords, a bit of a competitive nature, but also just like wanting more than you possibly should get, or something that's slightly out of balance in terms of communication, feeling like there's a communication issue in the fact that maybe you're not being heard, or you're trying to talk over others. So let's see what else there is. So we also have the Queen of Cups. So it definitely feels more on the latter, that maybe you aren't being heard, especially since you're looking into this cup. But we have the Queen of Cups here. Lots of blue, lots of pink. So let's see how that goes into the rest of yours. And we also have the 2 of Torches. All right, your guys' pile is fast and moving. We have a lot of blue, a lot of pink, and a lot of much cooler tones, right, of that ice, that cooling trend. So what is cooling down? What is starting to kind of lose its steam in a good way, almost like you're just allowing things to sort of rest? Let's see where else that is coming in here with the Prairie Majesty Oracle. I absolutely love this deck. It's one of my new favorites. You guys are going to be seeing it a lot on this channel, but let's see what else is coming in here for you, group 3, for the next 2 weeks. Let's so here we are with Nest. This one definitely has that slowing down kind of energy as well, nesting, getting ready for hibernation. So here we are with Nest and the deer mouse, and it says, would more tenderness help? So that's a beautiful one. It almost has these waves, these eyes, and again, purple and pink. And there's lots of that purple, that pink, and that blue coming through, which is a lot with your upper chakras or energy centers. So definitely see how that resonates with your throat, your throat, your third eye, and your crown chakras, or even your energy centers. So let's go ahead and see what else there is here with the next 2 weeks for you, group 3. You guys really have a lot of like I said, that cooling trend, but there's also within that cooling trend, time to really think is what I'm seeing here. Because I feel like you haven't had time to think or really voice what you want to say. So let's see here, group 3. So we also have slow down. It says slow down or take stock, and it says here the pace must abate before it's too late. So there you are with slow down. You guys, if you feel like things have been fast lately or you want to start speeding things up, there's definitely an energy of slowing down, taking it as like kind of on the back seat, going to the back seat. You don't have to be in the driver's seat all the time. Allowing other people to help as well, being more tender to yourself and tender to the other people around you. We're going to go ahead and dive in with your watercolor affirmation here, but do stay tuned for the charm cast later on in the reading. But here we are, group 3 here. Group 3, what do we have coming in for an affirmation for group 3 within these next 2 weeks? Turn the page. That one's interesting because, like I said, I felt like you have to slow down so you can actually see where you're going, because I feel like you are just moving too fast, and hopefully you guys can see that. There you are, turn the page. So I do feel like you guys want to start moving forward. I think you want to take a next step forward, but I think you need to take stock, right? You need to slow down, see what you actually have in your cup and what's filling your cup, what's not filling your cup. And really align yourself with what moving forward even means, because just because we want to make a step forward doesn't mean we actually know what that step is. So this is about trying to figure out what that next step is. All right, so let's go ahead and start diving in here. Group 1, like I said, you had Isa about slowing down, definitely is resonating with your messages of Isa here. But I do think it's interesting too, the idea of Isa, in that your emotions have almost been frozen or have been sort of like not blocked, but just sort of held off for a little while. Like you almost aren't allowed to speak your real truth, speak your real thoughts, or be kind to yourself, being more tender with yourself, being more understanding with yourself. I think that you are pushing yourself farther than you need to, and I think that there's also this idea of being very selfless, because we do have here the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is a very selfless person here. She is always making sure to fill others' cups, and that means sometimes she doesn't fill her own, right? She's looking into this cup and thinking, where did all of my energy go? Where did all of my tenderness for myself go? Because the entire time she's been working on making sure other people have everything that they need, and she's kind of lowered herself to only having this tiny little island, this tiny little space, and you're kind of making yourself smaller, making your nest smaller, making your energy and space smaller for other people. Because we also have the 5 of Swords, which represents sometimes conflict, sometimes it means other people saying things that can be very upsetting, but in this case I almost feel like it's just 2 versions of yourself. One that really needs more, but you keep giving and giving to other people, versus to yourself. And then we'll talk more on that 2 of Wands in a moment. But when you slow down, when you stop and really think about it, where in your life are you helping other people, but not really yourself? Where in your life are you giving advice to others, but you're not really taking that advice yourself, right? I even do this myself. I'll be doing these readings and be like, y'all need to slow down. Y'all need to do this thing. But then I don't actually take that advice for myself. So definitely see where you can start taking your own advice. Have you been talking to a friend lately and realizing, hey, maybe I've been giving advice to them that actually is going to be really beneficial for me. Maybe you've been having a lot of self-talk in your brain that isn't actually helpful for you. And how can you start to break that cycle? Start to at least notice and be neutral about the thoughts that you're having, so you can start changing those and shifting those, turning that page into something that actually benefits you and moves you forward. Because right now you're emptying your cup. You're working so hard that you're not allowing yourself to take a moment's rest, to take a nap, to actually enjoy sleep, enjoy a bit of time off. Because right now, if you keep working, not only are you getting burnout, but you're also just allowing like your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, all of that lowers because your cup can't keep up. So what fills your cup? Within these next 2 weeks, start to really play around with what that really means. It means filling your emotions, what fills your soul, what makes you feel like you're on top of the world again. So where can you have that cloud nine moment? Where can you have even small cloud nine moments, that smell the roses moments in your life? What can fill your cup? What can start to become that nest that holds you, that comforts you, that keeps you safe and warm? So in these next 2 weeks, start to really gather what those are. For me, it's reading, allowing myself to have time to go outside in nature, to look at the clouds, to see small little moments with like my nephews and things like that. So where are you missing some of those moments, or making sure other people get those moments, but you're not allowing them in for yourself? Really try to explore that within these next 2 weeks. And as you do, I feel like the more you fill your cup back up and start to realize maybe that you need to find balance in how much you're giving yourself out to other people, I think when you slow down, that's when you're going to start to find passion again and realize like there are things and ambitions and places that you want to go. There's more than one. There's more places than you even thought possible for yourself. And that's where that turn the page is going to come in. But I really think that it's most important that you first figure out how to fill your cup and make sure to sustain that cup than it is to turn the page and move on. And I think that cooling trend is actually going to be what is going to be most helpful for you. So let's go ahead and move on to your charms and see what else there is coming in there for you guys. I absolutely love this little mouse. How cute. But we're going to go ahead and see what else there is with your charms. So the next 2 weeks, group 3. Okay, so you have a few different charms happening here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the ones that fell off the board, but we're going to look even deeper into them here in a moment. I'm going to just kind of move them around. You have 2 paper clips, one on self-care, one also about things being more temporary. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can really see what's happening here and not leave you guys in the dark that far away. Like, come on. So like I said, you have the self-care charm of the temporary energy of the self-care charm. So in this case, this is like I said, I feel like it's not like you don't ever fill your cup, but you're not sustaining that cup because you just keep giving more of it away. Like if you had 2 cups in front of you, one of them's yours, one of them's someone else's, you always find a way to give more to someone else than to yourself. So how can you start finding a perfect balance there and kind of put your foot down? Because we have the bolt charm. This is about putting your foot down, being assertive about how much you're giving to other people. You also have the sewing charm. So this can represent just in general, maybe your self-care comes in with things like sewing, with cosplay, with other creative pursuits that you really like and creative hobbies like knitting or crochet or something like that. But in this case, what sewing really means, right, is one, to make a garment or make something, but also it talks about bridging that gap, finding that space in between where you can start to fold over and align 2 different fabrics together, right? So in this case, how are you making it so you can still give to other people, still pour into someone else's cup, but sustain your own? So that's definitely coming in with your creative pursuits. I think that your creative hobbies are going to be a big part of that. Also meditation, not for very long, right? We have the temporary energy. So it doesn't mean you have to meditate all the time, but there is something about the steady pace or finding a steady pace again, finding a steady rhythm, because this also looks like a little drum. So there is something about finding a steady drum beat, a steady rhythm that really works for you before turning that page, before moving forward, before stepping into those little caverns that we had on that Two of Wands, and how you can really root yourself back down, seeing as we have the root energy center, and then more creative pursuits with this like little lantern. So how to illuminate that side of yourself to make you feel secure, make you feel like you can rest, that you can hibernate. And take seconds for yourself to not only fill your cup, but also to meditate on the world, see the world again. Because I think you've also possibly just been overburdened with other people's ideas and their obligations that they've put on to you or that you've taken on. And I think that it's also that you're like, okay, I gotta do this for this person, I gotta go do that, I gotta go do this, and you don't take time to not only fill your cup but also see the world again. Take a second to like look through your own eyes and your whole body and all your senses. So there's something about being not only meditative but mindful of the space that you're in. What smells do you smell? Take a second to breathe. What do you hear? What do you see? And just be mindful of the world. Just be in the present moment for a moment. Because I think that that's going to really benefit you and remind you of where you're really at and root you back down to your roots for yourself. We also have the freedom charm, but in this case, we have the cage. And so usually this represents, freedom or feeling liberated. But in this case, you have the cage closed. So you've been closing yourself off from your emotions, and also possibly closing yourself off from feeling emotions that really need to be processed as well. And that could be a much bigger thing that's happening, but it's just it's in your subconscious at this time. And maybe you haven't been wanting to focus on yourself because that's when those emotions start to come in. So definitely see how that resonates for you and see what you want to do about turning that page. But there is something that is going to start to arise within this area of your emotions being kind of unlocked because you've caged them for so long. So I do believe that is everything that we have here for your reading. We also have this, I just noticed this, you also have the self-care charm of the heart. This is for like self-care for your heart center. So you guys have so much self-care showing up here, and it's about the good kind of self-care. Like sometimes we talk about self-care as in like sometimes we need to do the hard things, but in this case I think it's about you just needing to like easy go, let yourself just sort of chill in those waves, chill in the water. So let me know how that resonates for you with this reading down in the comments below. I love to hear you guys' thoughts. Truly, I may not always get to them right away, but I definitely read everything and eventually do reply. So I really do appreciate you guys letting me know how these resonate for you. It helps me become a better reader, and I just appreciate you guys taking the moment to let me know what you think. Also, please be sure to give this video a like if you really did like this reading. I appreciate it so much. I swear, when we hit group 3, all of a sudden I start to lose my voice. So if it gets all crackly here at the end, that's why. But also, feel free to subscribe if you want to join this Kindred Spirit community, and if you would like to support this channel even further and support me further in my witchy endeavors, in the spiritual side of myself, as well as be able to give back to you and to support you in your own spiritual journey, your career, your love life, and anything in between, then feel free to check out the private readings that I do for snail mail readings, where I send a letter in the mail to you that is very heartfelt, very thought through, and typed up on a vintage typewriter from the 1970s, and send that out to you where you can really treasure it, read it, take time to really understand it, and through it better understand yourself with this reading. It's also got the option to come with magical spell paper that I create myself and handcraft for you guys, and I will also send a personalized magical sigil that you can use within your own magical rituals, if that's something you'd like as well to aid in what is brought up within your reading. So there's a lot you can dive into with those, and I'll have more information down below. I also have spell paper that I am putting out for Samhain and Halloween this month, so definitely check that out below as well, and on my Instagram there's a lot more information there. But there's only one set left and available, so if you want to snag that up, then feel free to check out the information below. But if there is a lot of interest for those, definitely let me know in the comments below and I'll make another batch. But with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.